Hello everyone. This video we are going to talk about how to wake up your eBay store among all these problems, glitches, issues, and so many things that are happening that makes me wonder what the hell is going on with eBay. Now, obviously, this is for entertainment purposes only. Some of the things I may say may be true, may not be true, but this is from my personal experience on the eBay platform. And I want to know, do you have these same issues as well? And if you become aware of some of these issues that I noticed in my store, maybe by fixing them in your store as well, will boost some of your sales. Okay, so got a long list here. It'll be a long video, but let's start off with a question I posed the other day. It was through a short video, and the question I had was, I noticed an interesting trend when it came to offers. I have two types of offer set as a seller. I either have open offers where somebody could just make me an open offer. I have to manually go in and either accept it, decline it, or counter it depending upon what the offer is. The second type of offer is I can set a minimum threshold in order to not have to deal with all the customers with the lowball offer. And whatever that threshold is, if a customer makes an offer on that threshold, it'll either automatically accept it or automatically decline it. Now, I posed a very interesting question the other day because one of the things that I personally noticed is, why is it that everything that I have at a set threshold ends up selling for my lowest price? So I'll give you an example with real-time numbers, and let's see if this makes sense. Say I have an item up for $100. In one area, I have it set for open offers. So that means a customer can come in and say, hey, I'll give you $30 for that item. And I'll be like, you know something, man, $30 is a little too low. Let me counter that and say, how about $50? Would you like to buy it for $50? Or I could say $30 is too low. I look at this person's profile. They have a lot of returns, a lot of negative feedback, and I'll be like, nope, I'm just going to flat out decline. Or, hey, you know something? It's finally selling. Somebody's offering me $30. I could accept it. That's option number one. The other option I have is I could say, okay, I have my $100 item. I set a threshold at $50. What that means is if anybody puts a bid in lower than $50, it's going to automatically decline it, and I don't have to worry about it. So in this case, I want to know, why is it that every time I have it set where there is a minimum threshold, the item ends up selling at that minimum threshold? So in the case of the 100 and the 50, where are my people putting an offer in for $90, $80, $70, $60? No, why are they always getting it for the lowest price that I put in? So I thought about that. So part of me was thinking, oh my God, is there some sort of bot system? Is that what's happening? Did somebody, like a genius, developed a bot that they're able to see what a seller's lowest threshold is? This way they could just come in and scoop it up for whatever that low threshold is. But then somebody, which I have to thank everybody who responded to my question, they suggested, they're like, no, that's the whole point of the lowest threshold. It could be that they are running the numbers to see what your lowest threshold is. So in other words, $100 item, they're going to offer you 10. Guess what? It automatically declines it. All right, they're going to offer you 20. Automatically declines it. 30, decline 40, decline 50. Guess what? Automatic acceptance. That's why I'm selling it for the lowest price, because they are testing out the numbers and keep making offers and until they can find the price. Now, from a buyer standpoint, that's a brilliant thing. I think I just gave away the secret. So if you're a buyer, and somebody happens to have a minimum threshold, keep making offers until you get to the price that they're willing to accept, and they'll either accept it or deny it. Simple as that. So then I found out something else. Somebody else said to me, and this I'm rather disturbed about. So say our customer does the same thing. They put a $10 bid in for this item that has that secret threshold of $50. Well, what I was told, and if this is true, this is actually a bad thing. But somebody told me that if you put in the low bid, eBay will send a message that says, sorry, this bid is too low, along those lines. And they will give the threshold that says, it's suggested that the seller is looking for this amount. I want to know if that's true. I haven't tried that yet. But if that's the case, I'm thinking of going through all my orders and completely taking off the minimum threshold, because I would rather them manually give me an offer and I counter offer to my lowest threshold or something along those lines than for it to constantly be selling at whatever my lowest threshold is. I hope that made sense. But from a buyer standpoint, that might be a great trick to try, is start lowballing sellers until you get up to their threshold. The catch is, if they have it as open offers and you're only allowed, I believe, 3 offers, you might lose out on the item. And some sellers are very, very picky that they will actually block you if you do too many lowballs. That's just something to think about. So that's option number 1. I'm still questioning, though, and I'm throwing this out as a conspiracy theory. Is there an offer bot that will go around and know what people's lowest threshold is? Just something to think about. Okay, second one, and this is a big one, and this is a huge glitch that's affecting everybody, and I need to fix this as well. Because part of what it is I'll tell you what I'm doing is I'm actually going through item by item in my store and checking to see, is it listed? Is everything okay? And make some changes. I'll go into that a little more in details, but let's talk about shipping. So as you know, there is no more first class shipping. They did away with it. It is now replaced by the USPS Ground Advantage service. That actually is a great service. I will say this, I'm liking that, particularly since it does have the insurance attached to it as well, whereas first class never had insurance attached to it, that you always had to pay extra for it. So I like the fact that there's insurance attached to it. But here's the deal with the shipping. First of all, I had to go in and bulk change all my sales because I had it default to, I automatically do free shipping. I know other people do it differently. I just do free shipping because I incorporate that into the price of things. But I had to go in and manually do a bulk edit to change it from first class, which I ended up changing it to the USPS Ground Advantage. That's issue number 1. Issue number 2 is it actually deleted all of my packing information on every single one of my my listings. So what I mean is, just to give you an example, just say I have this item and I know that the weight is whatever, it's 13 ounces. It's going to go in an envelope that's whatever, like 9 by 7.5 envelope, whatever it is. It deleted that information. And what it says is it defaulted to no packing information entered. So what I've noticed is I have to go into each and every one of my items and actually re-input the information in instead of putting no shipping information. So I'm wondering if that's another thing that's been causing my sales to go down. So that's something to look at. Check to see how your shipping, like dimensions, packages, weight, and also service is, because if it's still under first class, it's going to be one big glitch after another. So that's another thing to look at. So check your package details when it comes to shipping, and also double check the service that you don't have first class checked off, because there is no more first class. Okay, next thing to talk about, the whole idea between relisting an item, sell similar an item, or just letting it keep renewing. Okay, so I've been on eBay for years, and for the longest time, I just let it, because every 30 days, it'll renew. What happens with that is when it renews, it's going to keep the same item number. But it'll keep all the information. It'll keep the same number of watches. It'll keep the same amount of people who viewed it. It'll keep the same date of when it initiated. So there's so many things. It seems that if you do that, you end up going all the way at the bottom because eBay likes to showcase new items as opposed to old items. So that's issue number one, is if you just let your items roll over. Then there's the option of you can end the listing and then you could either relist it or you could sell similar. Now, if you relist it, it's going to keep the same items. It's just going to change some of the different information. It'll change when the starting date is. You'll keep the same number. It'll just relist it. But then there's the sell similar. So selling similar is going to give it a whole new item number. You're going to lose all your watchers. You're going to lose all the people who saved it. Brand new item. It's as if you've taken a brand new item and put it up on eBay. There's some advantages and disadvantages. One of the disadvantages, you have to check what your threshold is on how many items you put up. In other words, depending upon if you have a paid store, if you're just using the 50 free listings or stuff like that, or how many listings you have altogether, by you ending and then relisting whatever your entire bulk is, that's how much it's going. I know I'm not making sense, but for example, let's just say you have 1,000 items up for eBay. That 1,000 is 1,000 that you have up for the month. But now if you're going to end all of them and then relist them, you now, according to eBay, that's actually 2,000 items. Because you ended everything and it was as if you relisted. So you need to watch your numbers to make sure you do not go past the threshold. Now, do remember, depending on your type of store, depending on what promotion, depending upon category, you can get the free listings. Like they do, whatever, the 10,000 free listings for collectibles or stuff like that. So, I mean, it's something to look into. Me personally, I have been doing the end item and then sell similar. I give it a brand new number. I give it a brand new start date, but I'm noticing an issue. So this is something to be very wary about if you're doing that sort of sell similar. The first issue is if you have multiple of the item, like multiple quantity. So let's just say, like I said, I have these cards and I actually have a quantity of 5 on here, but I ended up selling 2, so there's only 3 quantity left. If I end and sell similar, what ends up happening is, for whatever reason, it now states that I'm back up to the original 5. It doesn't take into consideration that I've already sold 2. So that could be a very serious glitch if you're not keeping a careful eye on your inventory. I don't know why it does that. It has done that to me a couple of times where now I'm actually not in a top rated because I had to cancel items because when I renewed, it didn't show the correct number that I actually had on stock, and I ended up selling out of the items and I couldn't give it to the person who bought it. So that's glitch number 1. Glitch number 2, if you end item and sell similar, happens to be if you are going through a sale at the time. Now, I run frequent sales all the time in my store, and I'll do different, depending if it's a holiday or this or that, I will do different amounts. Sometimes I'll do like a 25%, maybe I'll do a 30% sale, maybe I'll do 15%. It's whatever it is. Generally speaking, and this is me personally, when I need a little extra money, I will throw an extra sale in for a couple of days just to try to make as much as I can, wake up my store and get some more sales in, and that'll be a good way to get a little extra money. That's also if you really don't care what you sell an item for. For me, and this is me personally, I actually sell things on my live sales and my YouTube sales first. If it doesn't sell on YouTube, then I bring it over to eBay and try to sell it on eBay. Some people may do it the other way around. Some people may not even do live sales. But because I particularly do it in that fashion, basically whatever I sell the item on eBay, I'll take any amount. Oh, did I say that? Shh. No, I won't take any amount. But you know what I mean. Within reason, I'll take any amount. So what I've noticed, like I said, is if it's running a sale, it will not put the original price. It puts the sale price. So just throwing out numbers, let's just say I have an item up for $100, but I'm running a 30% off sale. If I end the item and then sell similar, it's not going to say that this was a $100 item. It is now saying it is a $70 item. It is posting it up for $70. And then once it rebatches, it's then going to do an additional 30% off that item because I'm still in my sale. So you need to be very, very careful if you're running any types of promotions or any types of sales, if you're ending and selling similar, because it's just going to bring over whatever the sale price is. I hope I'm making sense. If I'm not making sense, throw it in the comments because I would love to hear people's comments on this. Now, next, I want to talk about the money. Money. Got to talk about money. I take managed payments. By now, I believe everybody should be taking managed payments. You could correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm on managed payments. I was also on a beta program because I was one of the testers, and I don't know if other people have this option too, but instead of them sending a daily or weekly direct deposit of my funds, they can now hold my funds until I decide to cash out. I hope that makes sense. So it used to be that I had it set up for daily payouts. So whatever my payouts were on a daily basis, it would automatically send me a direct deposit every single day. Now, the money I accumulate stays in my eBay account, and instead of initiating the direct deposit, it'll initiate the direct deposit the moment I say, you know something, I want to send X amount of money to my bank account. And then I have the choice for them to either do it as a direct deposit or they could do it as an instant pay where I'll get it literally within a minute. But of course, there's a fee. There's a fee for that. There's always a fee for that. eBay has to take a fee. Okay. Aside from that, now those direct deposits generally take about 3 days to hit. So you have this floating pending funds that are not necessarily available to you just yet. So just to give an example, today's Monday, somebody buys this for $100. I'm not going to get that $100 available to me until Wednesday. Wednesday, I could then decide to go in and either hit instant cash, well, they'll charge me a fee to give it to me instantly, or I could go in, hit direct deposit, which will take another 2-3 days to hit my account, but it'll be for free. Or I could just leave the $100 there and decide whenever I want to do it. In the meantime, though, I can use those funds to pay for shipping. That to me is a blessing, to pay for shipping. That's great. And they opened it up where you can still use the funds that are on hold for shipping. So in other words, those 3 days where this $100 is pending before it's actually available to me, I could still use that $100 for shipping for any new items that come in. But here's the problem. And I'm going to try to explain this, and you could tell me if you've had this experience as well. They will only let you transfer the funds that are actually available to you, not the ones that are pending to you. However, they will use those funds before they use the pending, before you could take it out. Now, that probably made no sense, so let me give you actual numbers, okay? So let's just say I sell this item for $100. So I'm just going to write that down. I sell this for $100. But what that means is in today's Monday, that $100 is not going to clear for me until Wednesday. Okay? So now Tuesday comes along. Okay? I don't have any money pending in my account from the 100. However, from a sale that I made on Friday, let's just say $25. Let's just say I have a $25 sale. From a sale that I made I have the 25 available. So technically, if I keep everything the way it is, I'll have 125 available for me on Wednesday. But right now, I only have $25 available. I have 100 pending, but my total amount would be 125. However, I have to ship this out. Here, the $100 guy already paid. And let's just say this costs $25 to ship. It doesn't. It's only going to cost me like $5 to ship. But let's just say it costs $25 to ship. If I take this item, print the shipping label straight from eBay, it's now going to take the money for shipping out of the 25 that's already cleared today. It won't take it from the 100 that he paid. It's taking it from the money that's actually... So if I go in today because I want to take the $25 out from Friday, I can't because I already used it on shipping on this. So what that means is if I need money like right now, before I ship this item in, I have to go in, transfer that $25, which will leave the 100 pending. But the $25 is already transferred to my bank account. I have 100 pending. I can still ship this out. But what that means is about the time Wednesday comes, instead of the 125 that I would have had all available, I'm only going to have $75. Reason being is I already transferred the $25 to my account and I shipped this item for $25. So that's only going to leave me with $75. Does that make sense or that doesn't make sense? Basically, what I'm trying to say is in the morning, if you need money, make sure you go into your account, transfer what you actually have available at that time before you start printing all your labels. Otherwise, it's going to take all that available money first, and you'll still have all that stuff pending until you get it the next day. I don't know. So, I know this was a long video. That was only 4 topics. But basically, what I'm noticing is because I'm literally going item by item by item, shelf by shelf, because I have basically a garage filled with items, and I have all these shelves, and I really want to refine my store. I want to go through my items. I want to see what I could donate, what I could sell, what I could box up, and so many things. My store, I'll admit, it's actually waking up. It's been a long time since my store has been selling consistently. But I will say this, if there's one thing that you could walk away with anything to do to improve your store, it is listing daily. I probably should have started with listing daily, but that is the key. If you want to keep your eBay store active, no matter what, you have to list daily. What I've also noticed, and this is something for me, is that however many items you sell should be a thing you add for the next day. So in other words, if I sell 3 items today, I should be listing at least 4 items tomorrow. And what that'll do is that will keep your numbers up with how many items you have in your store. So I sell 3 items today, I'm going to list 4 items tomorrow. I sell 2 items today, it doesn't matter how many I list, but I want to keep my numbers so that my store keeps growing and growing and growing. When you consistently list, you will notice consistent sales. If you take a break and decide not to list for a few days, watch what happens to your store. Your store is going to start flatlining. Other things to do is promote your listings. Run some sales. Share out to some friends some ideas. I mean, there's so many different things. If you have a niche item, this is a little trick that I do. Like say I did this with the Dungeons and Dragons, and I think that's the reason it went so well. But say I have a Dungeons and Dragons item. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that item. I'm going to go to a Facebook group that's all about Dungeons and Dragons. I'm going to post that item and say, hey guys, look at this new Dungeons and Dragon item I got. And you know something? Generally, it sells. So that's another little trick. So these are all little tricks of the trade in order to impact your store and get your store woken up so that you'll start selling things. I'm actually happy because with a lot of these tricks that I've been doing, as far as changing the shipping, adding item specifics to my item, making sure that everything is tweaked. Oh, I want to bring up something else. See, I made a list and there's something else. I want to talk about stock photos for a minute. I noticed, and this is very important, I'm a big media and bookseller. So a lot of my items, I use the original stock images. Stop using the stock images, because the glitch is that if you use stock images, it doesn't always transfer all the time. You won't come up in the search field. Sometimes when you go in, there won't be a picture at all, even though it shows a stock photo. So don't use a stock photo. Actually take a picture. Even if it's only one photo, just take a photo. But what I always do is take a photo of the front of the book, the back of the book, and the side of the book so that they can see the spine. That's how I do it. But go in, make sure that your pictures are good, make sure that your shipping is good, make sure that all your information is good, make sure you have the dimensions of your package, and that should lead to success and start bringing in more sales. Now, I would love to hear everybody's opinions on some of the things I said. Maybe you've noticed some of these glitches yourself. I will say there's probably so many more glitches that I could talk to, but we're coming up to almost 30 minutes, and I think this is long enough time. But I want to thank everybody for listening to this video. Please comment below, and don't forget, thumbs up, give the like, and also subscribe, because I do shows about 4 times a week. I do it with my partners in crime, and we sell everything. So you never know what you're going to see. And as always, I believe laughter is the best medicine. So stay positive, smile, keep on selling. And you know something? Maybe your store will start waking up. I know with the changes that I've made, my store is starting to do that. Well, everyone, take care. This is Melanie with Light Beam Treasures.